All right, and thank you so much to Liz for that awesome run of Ristar. Although we have a $10 donation from McSquid saying it's Rystar. Great job with the run, Liz, even if you do pronounce it wrong. And we have a $150 donation from Proto Nerd. Been watching AGDQ since 2012. Love what you guys do. I've had to work this week, so can only catch a few runs here and there, but luckily I'll be able to catch the Fire Emblem Sacred Stones run by Kirby Master, money to Irika's route, because Sacred Stones is one of my favorite GBA and FE games. Keep up the great job, guys, and let's get that $1 million hype. Can I get a crowd hype? All right. Okay, and just real quick here, we're going to go ahead and play a Twitch ad just to get things moving along for a little while. So we will be right back. All right. Welcome back, everyone. This has been Bo Steed, and here in just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to French Toast. I'll be back later on during this week. But in the meantime, we have an interview with the runners of Ristar just now and Spike Vegeta.
And welcome back, everyone, to AGDQ 2018. I'm Spike Vegeta, and I am joined by our latest runner, the runner that just finished up her run. We got Liz the Goddess. How you doing today?
Doing pretty great. How are you doing, Spike?
I'm doing great. It is a little early. We're going to go to bed after this. Woke up early for the Rayman commentary, just being honest. But yeah, I first just want to start off with asking you my #1 question. How do you pronounce your video game?
So as I mentioned, there's a guy who asked a bunch of Sega employees how you pronounce Ristar. They said Rystar, Restar, and Ristar. So there is no correct answer, but in Japan it is Restar.
Okay,
So
that is the official.
I guess.
Sure. That feels like a Ninja Gaiden.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, question.
Really, but
Well, I want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah. I want to jump actually over here to my first social media question from, and I know I'm probably saying this wrong, from Gazosha G. We got, what's so special about Ristar that you decided to speedrun it in the first place, especially that the first half of the 90s were filled with top-notch platforming games?
Well, it's just such an underrated Genesis game. I like playing games that less people play because it feels like it's more casual. Our community is so like inclusive. There's like only 12 of us.
That's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, like for this kind of obscure Genesis game, it's such a good game. It was my favorite game as a kid. So I was I want to go for all the games because, you know, there's a nostalgic factor.
Absolutely.
That always powers you through, like, learning a speed game.
Sure. In general, would you consider yourself a fan of Genesis as a console?
Oh yeah. I call myself like the Genesis speedrunner.
Oh,
a lot of my games are Genesis games. I plan on playing a lot of Genesis games. I feel like Genesis doesn't get enough love. So if you like the Genesis as a kid and are thinking of getting into speedrunning,
we got Mike Uyama over here producing this, and he's like, yes! You are now his new favorite runner. Give me some Genesis games that you would like to see get more love, maybe see a little bit
the
more
Aladdin
attention.
Genesis one is really good. Ristar, all the Sonic games. The classic Sonic games, like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, has 8 runners. And like that's everyone's favorite Sonic game. I mean, yeah, it's insanely difficult to speedrun.
You guys can't hear Mike, I'm sure, over the mics or anything. Mike on the mic. I want to go ahead and jump into, this is another one. We actually talked about this right beforehand. I was surprised. How do you, from our Garban Security.
Garby, yep.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I know Garby.
How do you like the Game Gear version in comparison to the Genesis version? Have you even played it?
I have. That game was kind of unknown to us for a while. I've rediscovered it and speed ran it and got down a pretty good time, and it was okay. I was like, this is not nearly as good as the Genesis version. And then the world record holder, Chubbis, came out of literally nowhere like 10 hours later and absolutely wrecked my record. So I'm never getting that back.
Hey, but you had your moment of glory. You're going to some point say, I had the world record holder in Game Gear Ristar.
I was a Ristar world record holder. Game Gear.
For the Game Gear, you know, it's whatever.
For
just kind of
10 hours.
Over that part. So I want to also just ask you, so let's say I'm someone who wants to get into Ristar speedrunning in general. What is the #1 hurdle that I'm going to have to get over to get into learning that game and the frustrations of it?
These star posts. Basically, with the game, it's actually like not that hard. The tech, you can ignore a lot of the tech. So when you're first learning the game, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to play through the game, get used to the controls, because the game is weird. So
I loved our little goofy, stretchy arm platforming block.
That was such a good block.
Yeah.
But it's weird, and you got to get used to it. But then after that, you slowly work in the tech. Mostly, it will be the Sonata 1 skip. And for me, the automaton skip. But other people don't have trouble with that.
Right.
So.
It sounds like you guys have a little community that would be more than happy to help out.
If you're thinking of running Ristar, just send a message on Twitch to me or Chubbis or anyone, and we can send you a link to the Ristar Discord, where we talk about new strats and everything.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it, guys. I want to get in one more quick question. So other than Ristar, what are your next projects after this?
Well, I run Return to Zork, a really weird game.
I'm not familiar, but sounds
familiar
cool.
with
All
it.
right.
I run McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure.
I am familiar with that game.
Yeah.
That has a surprising amount of runners, I just want to say.
Right?
It's like a top 10 Genesis game.
I run Sonic Mania, which, I want to get better at Knuckles and Knuckles %, the best category in that game by far.
Does the second Knuckles actually do anything? I have no. Okay. That makes it that much better.
But because he doesn't do anything, he does everything.
Right. Of course. He's #1 cheerleader.
And then in the future, I'm planning on running, going a little bit further from Genesis. I'll be running Zelda 2. And also getting better with Dynamite Heady, which Cronin just ran.
Heck yeah! All right, next time you gotta run Rayman as well. You gotta have the whole.
I gotta do the
yourself.
entire thing.
All right, well, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you for joining us today. Great job on your run. I just want to go ahead and plug a few quick prizes for you guys. We got the Castlevania block coming up here very soon. For a minimum $15 donation, you'll be entered into the drawing for the Symphony of the Night Shadow Box Perler. For a minimum $10 donation, the Symphony of the Night acrylic painting. And for a minimum $20 donation, the Super Castlevania 4 2X LP soundtrack. I don't know what these things mean, but it sounds really, really cool. So, long story short, for a minimum of a $20 donation, what? Oh, am I supposed to show this stuff? Oh, sure.
Oh, wow.
I was just sitting here. Oh, this is the stuff you can win. We're well prepared. All right. I am going to bed after this one. All right, this is much. I shouldn't even said anything. Just like show this, just show this stuff. These are really cool things. For a minimum of a $20 donation, don't mess with. Oh, one's 10, one's 15, one's 20. Just do them all. This one I'm going to just be very careful with. All right, if I break this, I buy it. Which I wouldn't mind owning it. Some really good stuff right here, guys. Oh, what is it? A little bit what? Talk? Oh, some really good stuff. I'm loud. They can hear me, right? Man, the production value of AGDQ this year. All right. So for a minimum $20 donation, you can be in the drawing for all of these really good Castlevania prizes, going all the way through the end of the Castlevania block. So get in your donations, guys. And with that, let's kick it back up to the front for more of AGDQ 2018. Get it off of me. Come on, go. No, don't close up. Get out.
All right, we have a $25 donation from Anonymous. Enjoying watching you play the game, Liz. Awesome job. Let's beat cancer. And that was from Camaro Girl. All right, and we are going to go to Cypherin, who is playing Gargoyles.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, I'm Cypherin, not to be confused with other awesome runner Cypher. I'm very grateful to be here at GDQ. This is the first time Gargoyles is being presented in this type of event, so I'm just, again, extremely grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you so much. Behind me, I have a group of awesome individuals that I look up to, and they help push me to get top times in the games I run. If I can get a quick roll call.
Got L-Rock, and not Mike. We have Apollo, Angry Lanks, Junkyard Dave.
Yep. So with that said, I'm going to get ready to start, but quick shout-outs really quick, if I may, just to the Solid Frog Network for giving me a platform to run this on and attain my first world record. Substyle and the Strider 2014 community for just bringing me into speed running in general. And so with that said, I'm ready to go. Timer will start. Well, L-Rock will call it for me.
We've got SDA timing for this game, so it'll be on first control of character, so we'll count it down from the fade out of the level 1 screen. Go ahead and start here. Do all this cutscene skipping, and then 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so there's in the run, there's 3 main techniques that we utilize. The first one I dubbed the Juggernaut run. In which if you do a short hop or a jump and just have Goliath land on the ground, he can take damage from enemies, but he won't lose his momentum. So he's able to just continuously run without getting stopped.
It essentially gives him a form of armor. You can run without having to suffer hit stun, so therefore it doesn't slow you down. So it's just constant momentum with no fear of inertia. It's really, really strong.
Yep. And then the second technique involves Goliath's double jump, which you'll see me do it right here on this little fire right here. It's just as soon as you take a hit from anything, you can immediately do your double jump and cancel the animation that you would receive while taking that hit.
Just gives you an extra small jump boost from you know, we'll see quite a few climbs in the stage because any character with wings is going to have to go up eventually.
Yep, so like right there, that first spike skip is an example of me using the second
For
technique.
example, good room too.
All right. Then the third technique involves, it's sort of in tandem with the Juggernaut run, in which as soon as Goliath lands on the ground, normally he has like this animation, like a landing animation that slows him down. You just want to make sure you're holding a direction so that he's able to continuously move and not get stuck in place. And you'll see that on this part here, if they let me get up. There we go.
These archers can be real jerks. Because, I mean, even though you can maintain armor, it's kind of hard to do so once you're airborne. So it's best just to dodge. And we're actually going to see another example of that here with this climb. This part is actually intended to have the player go from the tower to tower to make sure you avoid all these shots. But, you know, who has time for that? We just need to get up there.
No time at all. No time at all.
So we're going to come to our first boss. Standard teleporting boss. These tend to be a bit of a nuisance, but this one's actually a bit easier standard teleport boss. You're going to do your highest damage attack, which is this pounce. After 4 hits, that's just going to put him away. The pattern is actually really easy because if you maintain your spot at the top 2 platforms, he never goes down to the bottom platform. So we move on to stage 2 from here.
Yep. And right in the beginning here, we utilize
Floor is lava.
Yep, the floor is lava. We utilize the Juggernaut run just to get by that really smooth. And then I'm going to do attempt a quick clip here that
Been calling this elbow skip.
Gentle Giant 85 discovered.
Very hard skip. It's pixel perfect. Basically, you have to phase his elbow right into the side of the wall there. But you have to do it before you reach the wall. It's fairly difficult, but he's going to go with the backup strat, looks like.
No, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
okay. Right up through there for the next one. You're going to see a bit of damage boosting here, also from these fireballs here in a bit. Not too much of them here, but they'll be along.
Yeah, in the later section, the third section of this
Ignore 'em
level.
here.
But this is another vent skip that we got on
Nice.
the first try there.
Good job.
And so now
Zip along.
on this stage, we'll come across 2 ground clips where Goliath is just going to air dive through the ground, and we're able to skip chunks of this section. Like the first one's coming up right here,
Nice.
and then the second one, if it's kind to me, come on, if it's kind to me,
There
we
you go.
And now here is where we're going to do the first fireball skip, where normally you're supposed to ride these, what I call like demonic strawberries, to get to this ledge here. Instead, we're going to just ride the fireball.
So you can get this here.
Yep.
Nice.
And now we're on the
Through
second
the
boss.
room. Very impressive looking boss you're going to see here, but it's actually the easiest boss in the game. Because here's where we invoke tickle strats. Call him Elmo, everybody.
Yep, tickle, tickle.
Ah, broke it. Get him again.
He made fun of me. He didn't like me making fun of him. There we go.
There we go.
So now fast forward to present day, aka 1994.
The year when everything stopped mattering.
Right.
So now we're in the city.
And this level is mostly, at present time with the speed run, mostly execution. We haven't found any really big tech yet, but we're hoping new runners will help us find this. This room right here is
This
a
room
death
is
trap.
very dangerous. If you don't maintain, you saw there, if you don't maintain proper armor through that room, you will get touch of death because those enemies do a lot of damage. They will kill you very, very quickly.
Yep. So now that that's out of the way, we can just we don't have to worry about everything else. That's the main like deadly room.
Dive through ceilings like you do.
Yep.
Love those jump boosts. There are items in a couple of stages where you can pounce on them and it just sends you 4 times as high as your standard jump. Quite useful to have. Maintain this climb. Good
Alright.
stuff. Good stuff.
And now we just gotta hope we won't get shot out of the air by these flying sentries. And I'm gonna do a little risky jump here, right here. Okay, we grabbed it.
Nice job. Very nice job.
Dive on through.
Good stuff.
And now we just have a really tall climb where we just want to stay ahead of these air sentries. And now's a good time if we want to read some donations till I get to the top.
All right, well, we have a $10 donation from Gentle Giant. Hey, Cypherin and Couch. Good luck on the run, buddy. I know you'll kill it. So happy to see Gargoyles at AGDQ, and no one better to be showing it. Donation to Runner's Choice.
Thank you, Gentle. Forgive me. I have to say, Gentle Giant and Kavik, they put this game on the map. If not for them, I wouldn't be here today. So I'm thankful to them for having the vision.
Still remember Giant crusading for this game to be a speedrun game even as little as just under a year ago.
Yep.
And now it's in a GDQ. It's pretty amazing, actually. It's also just such a cool game.
Yep.
Lots of neat mechanics. Up we go. Here's the top. We're going to drop in on our next boss.
And this guy can be a run killer. He's like the first true run killer.
It's kind of a weird boss because you have these appendages that force you to actually deal with them before you can fight him. So it's kind of annoying that you have to get rid of some stuff that's outside the grid, but you get some cool hits here, like that one right there. Like I love that dive to the side and how you cling there. And from there, it's just more tickle strats.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
He does have a couple of attacks he can do that can interrupt the tickle. This is actually the better of the two. And looks like he's gearing up for the worst one. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
he's being a bit of a jerk, but we got it.
He's got another one where he can fire lasers from the tail, and it just spreads hitboxes everywhere. It's not fun to have to put up with.
Not fun at all.
Good boss fight, though. Fall through the air.
All right, so now on this stage, you'll definitely see the Juggernaut run utilized to like full effect.
This stage is the Juggernaut run.
Yes.
It's just going across a train. It's very linear. Not a lot of climbing. It's just lots of side to side. That was a weird pause, though. Ah, a little too much damage. It's unfortunate. If I remember correctly, much like I think it's Aladdin for the SNES, damage carries over from level to level. Like you don't start a new level with max health. So health management becomes even more important when you have to take stuff like that into account. Of course, you're taking a lot of damage when you're doing armor runs and such. So health pickups are very, very important to maintain.
All right, and now we're in the hardest boss of the speed run.
It's essentially 3 waves of these drones, and as I tell anybody, if a boss has wings, you're gonna have a struggle because there's generally gonna be a lot of randomness involved with what they do. They may wait you out. They may go invincible.
They might even just disappear from the screen and make you wait 30 seconds.
That's
for
the
them to
best
come
one.
back.
That's the actual best one. Because nothing says goodbye run like 10 seconds of lost time.
Oh,
You can't do anything about. Oh, man, that dodge though. Good diving. Nice.
all right, and now their boss here.
Tickle, tickle, tickle. Nice these red to match too.
Come on. There we go. We got him.
Nice job. These guys can hit you a lot very, very quickly.
Yeah,
so
they-
being able to make through that deathless
Yeah,
is
they
always
can
impressive.
own you really bad. So now we're on the final stage here, the final complete stage, and we have some really interesting tricks on this stage as well.
So this stage, we're actually going to see our first intentional deaths, but we'll get to that here soon. First start is standard factory, conveyor belts, elevators, lava waterfall, you know, the basics.
Avoid some of these enemies to try not to take too much damage. So usually we'll take an intentional death here. I'm going to try to survive it, hopefully, so I can take an intentional death on the next screen.
These flame jets.
Didn't get it.
These flame jets are a bit of a hassle to try to get up.
Okay,
That happens sometimes.
so we'll just take this death here, use the iframes to climb up the wall. And then now here, this is, as of the current speed run, it's the hardest trick to pull. So we take an intentional death so that we can get those iframes again.
Yeah, you can actually stay on your character because, you know, there's no blink animation or anything, but as soon as you come back from a death, you're invincible for a good 1.5 to 2 seconds. So you've got enough time to get halfway up, and then you have to work your way up the rest. It looks like we're gonna...
Oh, we were right there. We were right there. All right, I'm gonna try it one more time.
Okay.
All right. Oh, actually, that might have been too early. Oh, no. I fell. No, I'm gonna try it one more time. And then you might hear me say I'm gonna try it one more time after that again. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go the older fast route now. But I'm glad that I at least tried it. I attempted it. So.
Cypherin's not wrong. It's very, very tough. You need to make sure your double jump cancels are really on point. It can be tough.
Yeah. All right, so now we have to ride this platform. If you didn't take that side climb there, like this room could take probably like 3 to 4 minutes, I think. So yeah, taking that climb that I was trying to do saves a lot of time. Okay, so now we avoid these furnaces. Room is fairly straightforward. You don't want to get knocked off these platforms, because if you take one, well, not from those projectiles, but if these sentries shoot you, you'll go through the platform and you can potentially die. So we want to get away from these guys as quickly as we can. He's trying to follow me. Leave me alone. All right.
Pests.
Yes.
Get rid of them all.
Okay, so now this is sort of a repeat of that city climb, but now we have a big old pit beneath us. If we fall, we could die here, but let's go ahead. Get up here nice and smooth. Yeah, that was nice. All right, so
Very
now
nice climb.
watch out for that vat, because it can push you through the ground there. And then normally you're supposed to ride that vat through this little flame maze here, but instead, okay, yeah, instead you can just run through. It's a mix of using the Juggernaut run and all the other techniques we've used, so that was a really good climb there. And this guy is gonna, okay. Here's another point where we take an intentional death, so that now we can climb this wall here, and now we just skip 1/3 of this last section of this stage, clip through this wire here, and through that we just skip 2/3 of the stage. Plant our feet in case we fall and die and need to reset. We want to be able to spawn back at that last point, and oh my god, why? Oh, a robot got in the way. Okay, shoulder charge, shoulder, maybe through.
It's drones, man.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
All right, so now we're on the final section of the run, in which now we have to climb a little bit more, face some evil robotic dogs. So one thing I failed to mention is that when you're fighting these bosses, you want to use your strong attacks as much as possible, and definitely make sure your strong attack is the first attack that you commit to these enemies. Because like when I first hit that Eye of Odin, that first damage that it received is going to impact the final fight that I have with Demona coming up at the top here. So like you can see, she's already lost like half her health.
These guys actually affect her health total, which is certainly kind of unique among games. I don't know too many that rely on their henchmen to be able to determine how much health they have. That's kind of different.
Okay, so now we're on the final fight.
Here we have Demona, who's about 50-50 in terms of being a boss. You've got some pretty straightforward patterns. This turret's a little annoying, but you can actually deal with it. But she also has, much like any boss I mentioned earlier with wings, just a lot of randomness. There's an attack she has where she can just not completely go invincible, but she just basically becomes just a flying hitbox where she just moves around the screen like so.
Yeah, so she's in her second form, and time will occur upon the second hit.
She'll be ready on time. Doesn't have too much health left, so
Come on.
whenever she's done.
So one hit, and then if I get the second one. Two, time. Awesome, awesome. The current world record right now is 13:08. I got that maybe about like a week ago, I think.
It was within the past week.
Yeah, within the past week, so I'm comfortable and happy with that 15. Awesome. So yeah, this has been an experience. I'm extremely grateful. Just some final shout outs to my loving wife who supports me in playing my games. Hey, love. Hey, my love. So, and to also my family and friends back home, my work family, Andrew, Ornella, Alvin. Hi, everybody. And then last but not least, my two nephews, Eric and Zachary, who I love dearly, and my grandmother at home, who's one of the strongest people that I know. So thank you, everybody, and again, just thank you for having me here today. And thank you to my couch. Thank you, Elrock, so much. Thank you guys for pushing me, to get
You're
those
welcome,
top
man.
times. And I'm
Glad you're
done.
here.
All right, and thank you for that excellent run, Cypherin. We have a $200 donation from Goliath. Hey, AGDQ.